So now let us take a look at some rules and regulations when it comes to performing the mathematical operations on real numbers, okay? Now, one of the fundamentals you want to understand is that when you are operating any mathematical operation on rationals, let's say it is division or multiplication, addition or subtraction, and the other number that you are operating with, if that happens to be irrational number, then this entire operation will result into a number that will belong to the space of irrational numbers. Okay, so no matter what number you have on the other side, if you are operating that number with irrational number, the result is always going to be an irrational number. All right, so the best way to remember this step is that, let's say you take a container of water, okay, and that container of water, at this moment water is colorless, as we all know, right? And let's say you contaminate this water with some red color. What happens when you add any red color into this water? This red color is not going to stay here. It is basically going to spread, and it will make this entire water as the color of this red color that we added, right? If this was my container of rational numbers, the moment you add one irrational number into this container, this entire space of number then eventually converts to what is known as the irrational number. Okay, so this is what we want to know and remember about when you perform any mathematical operation between rationals and irrationals, what actually results out of it. Okay, now to help us understand, to simplify these mathematical operations, we will make use of some standard identities. There are three of them. Actually, I would like you to know there are more than that, but these three are the most useful and they are very widely used in our mathematical operations. So square root of a times b is same thing as square root of a times square root of b. Okay. Likewise, square root of a over b is the same thing as square root of a over square root of b, right? And then finally, when you have this identity in which you are adding two square roots and then you are subtracting those two square roots and then you are multiplying with each of them, then this is what you obtain as a result. Okay, then another thing we want to know is that the laws of exponents, they also apply exactly the same way as we studied them under the whole numbers or under the rationals, right? A to the power m times a to the power n, these two numbers, they have the same base but different powers. When we are multiplying them, their powers will get added and the base remains the same, right? And when you have, let's say, two numbers, they are being divided over each other, their powers will get subtracted or exponents will get subtracted and the base remains the same, right? So always remember about the laws of exponents, that the four laws that we studied previously, they also apply equally well on rationals or irrationals, all right? So now let us take a look at some examples in which we will be using one of these identities or laws to simplify the numbers that have been given to us, okay? So the first example we will take is that we want to simplify some mathematical additions. 2 times square root of 2 plus 4 times square root of 3, and this is being added with another number that happens to be square root of 2 minus 6 times square root of 3. Okay, so what we'll do is we will simply gather our like terms together. So we'll first gather square root of 2 operation, and then there is another one here, and this will be added. And then we will have the square root of 3, 4, this is in addition, minus 6 times square root of 3. Let's factor some of the common terms out. So we have square root of 2, it can be factored out, and using the distributive law, basically reverse distributive law in this case, we will have 2 here and we will have 1 here. So then we can close these parentheses, right? And in this part, in this subsection, we can take square root of 3 out. It is of course plus here. What remains inside the parenthesis is 4 minus 6. Now when you simplify this, you obtain that 2 plus 1 is 3. So it becomes 3 times square root of 2 and plus 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So it will be square root of 3 times negative 2. And you can write the final answer as 3 times square root of 2 minus 2 times square root of 3, right? This is the simplified version of this very first equation that we were given. Okay, simplify 8 times square root of 15 divided with 2 times square root of 3. So in this case, we are going to make use of this standard identity here. So we can rewrite the above division as 8 times square root of 15. It can be written as square root of 5 times square root of 3, right? Because 5 times 3 is 15 and we are applying this specific standard identity, okay? And then in the denominator we have 2 times square root of 3. Now we can have few things cancel out here. This square root of 3 will cancel out and this 2 will divide 8 and we will get a 4 here. So finally what you get is as the answer 4 times square root of 5, right? Simple enough, not too complicated at all, okay? So now let us take a look at one more simple example. So we want to simplify this number in which we have 7 to the power 1/2 divided by 7 to the power 1/4, okay? So we can make use of this specific standard identity when we have two numbers and their bases are same but the powers are different, and if those numbers are in division to each other, then we say that the result is the same base but their powers can get subtracted, right? So we can apply the same thing here, and this is a to the power m divided by a to the power n, and we will have a result of a to the power m minus n, right? That means you can simply say that it is 7 to the power 1/2 minus 1/4, or alternatively you can say that it is 7 to the power 1/4. This is your final answer. So you see that we don't have to memorize anything specific. We just need to know some basic fundamentals. The fundamentals are performing the operation of rationals with irrationals will always result into an irrational number. Another fundamental is that the standard identities also apply on irrationals, and then there are some laws of exponents. The same laws of exponents that we have studied them under the rational numbers, okay? So with that, we will take a pause here, and that concludes our discussion on the operations on real numbers.